We're talking about Zion Williamson. Woj, what more can you tell us about Zion?
And Malika reevaluated with that hamstring injury in another 2 weeks. He's going to start ramping up on the court, doing more. And then they'll get a better sense with probably 2 or 3 games left in the regular season whether Zion Williamson can return to this season. New Orleans bunched up, with a number of teams fighting for those final play-in spots in the West. And so 2 weeks, I think both Zion Williamson and the Pelicans will have a better idea if he's ready to come back, if there's time left in this season. Where are the Pelicans in the standings? Do the games still mean something? And is he ready to return? Clear picture in about 14 days.
You're right, because 2 weeks puts us at about April 5th, and their regular season ends around April 9th. Woj, thank you. Please do not go too far. The stat, though, Chiney, that is a little bit staggering to me, he has played, Zion Williamson, in 114 of 298 games over 4 years in his career. Again, 114 games over 4 years in his career. That translates to roughly 38% of games played.
Wow.
What do you make of this? Take a look.
Okay, what I make of this is what is the risk and what is the return? Because to me, it's very high risk for a player of his caliber. If there's 2 or 3 games left and you see that you're in the, 12th or so spot, even though you can move up, do you want him to come back and sort of jeopardize his position right now at this point in the season? Or are you already doing what we've done multiple times and say, all right, let's give him a better shot next year? I think that's hard because we love Zion. I think when he hits the floor, he's probably 50 to 60% from the field, 26 points per game. But then you just want to protect him at all costs. And I just don't see so much upside in, okay, he's back to play the final 2 games of a season where maybe you make the playoffs. What is the benefit in that?
Look, short term, they're already 12th. Jose Alvarado's also going to miss most of the rest of the season, if not all of it. They've been banged up across the board. CJ McCollum's playing with an injury in his thumb and his shooting hand, which has hampered him. Without Zion, I just don't see how they can hang in this race. I mean, I think they have probably the least chance to make the play-in of all the teams that we just showed on the crazy standings. Here's their schedule. It's pretty tough. It's even between home and road. They don't get a great schedule benefit. Their tiebreaker situation isn't great. They're just shorthanded. Long term, with Zion, they're awesome. That's how good he is. He takes this team and he makes them awesome. 114 games in 4 years. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm not saying that someone has made a mistake here or there's blame to be thrown around. 114 games in 4 years. At what point do we start talking about this kind of a crisis for the Pelicans? How can you build your team with the uncertainty of when is this guy going to play? That's 25 games a year, and I just don't know. I mean, hopefully next year he plays more, but This is every season, and I just don't know when we start talking about this is this is like a permanent state of affairs now, and the whole organization is up in the air because of it.
What's
so funny?
Because I would trade him. I would actually trade Zion.
To who?
I would find
find somebody.
I would find someone and trade him because, again, you just asked the question about basically, can you trust him to be your franchise guy? And since he came in the league, no, because you can't trust that he's going to be available on the floor. And so when I look at this situation, I'm like, okay, this is starting to be a trend. Every single season, we Zion and lost weight. Zion looks healthy. Then all of a sudden, this happens. If I'm the Pelicans, I have Brandon Ingram. I have C.J. McCollum. I have a bunch of young pieces that are over there playing extremely hard that has a bright future. I would actually consider trading him this offseason, to be honest with you.
That's a bold one, Perk, and I actually don't think it's that off the wall because they do have a bunch of good young players. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels. Yep. On and on. They also have a million picks, including a lot of Lakers picks, which could be pretty valuable. Trading someone at this point in his value is usually a losing proposition. Although they would find someone. Because the talent is that enticing. To me, that feels early. It feels sad. But the word you use, trust, that makes it seem like it's someone's fault.
No.
It just is what it is. Right?
It's basically me.
He doesn't play.
Well, I'm questioning, when I say trust, do you trust his body?
And that's the thing. He is a linebacker playing football and jumping through the roof. We just haven't seen that body type ever.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and the fact of the matter is he hasn't played since January 2nd. He's missed the last 35 games. And you said, well, can you trust him to play more than 25? The most games that he's played consecutively is 25 games. Wow. And that's just what we're looking at here today.
Yeah, that is what we're looking at. I do think that when he's on the floor, he sort of makes you feel like you can forget all of those things.
Right.
He's that soft.
Good
He's
point.
young. He's capable. Also, like, there's so many underrated aspects of his game, his ability to pass, his ability to dribble, his ability to score. And this is what I love about him the most. You don't have to run a play for Zion Williamson to be successful. He can go out there and get you quiet, efficient buckets. But I do understand a little bit what this feels like because I'm someone who has dealt with 2 major injuries. I missed a lot of games. But, you know, I joined a team where I was not necessarily like the franchise player just so that I can prove that I still have value. He is the franchise player. He's the guy that you build around. He's the one that was transcended around the entire game. And so I do think that it's hard to trust in what you're seeing by the numbers. But you also know that trust is like, oh, I'm good when you see him on the floor. They got closer to finding a good system for Zion because this year he looked better, he looked stronger, and then you still got the same result. You just have to sort of hope that, all right, maybe we can keep minimizing those games that you miss to have a productive season.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.